village plants is the one that I find to be the rangatira of all. And there's a reason for that. So when the siblings, when the children of Rangi and Papa split their parents, you got to think of that moment when she was ripped apart from her husband, and they were torn apart. And her karanga, that was the very first karanga of Te Aoturoa. But her tinana was damaged. She was in pain. And she was in pain from being ripped apart by physically, but she was in pain because her heart was hurt when she was split from her husband. So it was Iwa Matua Kore, the very first spark of light, the very first connection of our whakapapa, Iwa Matua Kore, that gifted Papa Tuanaku, the Kawakawa. This is one of the very first rākau that was given from Iwa Matua Kore to Papa to help him heal. If you look at the rau, they are the shape of a heart. So this is the rākau that you can tell is connected to our heart. There is a reason why our tupuna use it in tangihana, so that it's connected to grief. The best part about Kawakawa is that you don't need to harvest from her in order to get any healing from her. When she was given to Papa, she was given for all forms of healing. Every part of Kawakawa can be used medicinally. Her roots, her branches, her seeds, her leaves, her mauri. If you were to be in a point of grief, and grief doesn't necessarily mean you lost somebody, there are so many different forms of grief. You actually just need to think of her. Just bring her into your nāka and think of her, and she will help you heal in that way. There are so many other ways that she will heal you, but this is the one rākau that was not gifted, well, there are a few actually, but this one was not gifted by Tāne to Papa. It was Iwa Matua Kore that gifted this rākau. So you can use her for almost everything. She is both there for kai, she is there for healing in terms of rongo, she heals the whenua at the same time. This is one of those rākau that you can touch and know it goes right back to our very beginnings. You can use her for any skin ailments. You can drink her as a wai, as in a tonic, to help clear out the toxins inside the tinana. You can't actually take her if you're on any types of blood thinners, because it does thin the blood. You cannot take it if you are pregnant, if you are hapu. And the reason for that is because it goes through the pipi at the same time. If there was any type of bleed, it will encourage that to bleed even more. So that's why you do not take it when you are hapu. You can use this for insects. For like if you are in the ngāhere, you've got no dimple, whatever you call it, so it's insect repellent. You can rub her all over you. She's really good for putting, like you put the branches into the fire if you have a fire, and that will help keep away the insects at the same time. When they are orange, they are edible, and you can take that with any types of toothache. You can chew on the branches as well, and that will help with any types of toothache or anything like that. As you can see by some of them, they have holes in them as well. So you will find that the lopped caterpillar is the one that will lay its eggs on it, and it's the caterpillars that eat it. It is the caterpillars that create these holes, and each time the holes are created, what Kawakawa is doing is she's releasing her medicinal properties to help heal. She's sending everything that she needs to heal that spot, which means that is why those rau are so powerful. When you harvest from Kawakawa, you do not harvest more than she can give, and you must always ask permission. If there is something, if you walked into the onga and it bit you, that's an instant tohu. You are not allowed to harvest. Yeah? If you cannot hear the manu around you or the sound of something that is te taiao, that's also a sign that you cannot harvest. If there is something that's telling you, oh, I don't feel quite right, it's also another sign that you can't harvest from her. It is a no. You must always listen, you must always ask permission to have kawakawa. And we're going to make an oil. This oil that when we harvest with an intention. And this intention is for kai. So there is a difference between harvesting for kai and harvesting for rongoa, and it's called noa and tapu. When something is noa, it means that it is unrestricted, it is safe, yeah? That's why when we go into something from a restriction such as tapu and we eat, it brings us back to noa. So in this particular instance, we are creating something that is noa. If we are creating something that is tapu, so for instance, if we are creating this to make the head wreath, now I've forgotten what the name is, tipari, making a tipari for tangihana, then that's tapu. There's also a reason why you won't see it on the tables. It's because it's tapu in that sense. It's attached to tangihana. So it's not something you would put on the tables. So yeah, I'm only going to take what she wants to give me, and you do not need to take the whole branch. There's no reason for that. You only need to take a few though from here and there. You would look, and in terms of where the sun hits, you would look at her modi. So I can see that her greens are beautiful and green and luscious. There's no disease on her. She's got a beautiful colour. She's not too yellow. She's happy. So if you're harvesting something that is happy, that's going to be putting that into you at the same time. So that is why we're picking this particular one today. So I can see down the bottom that there is some down here. I don't want those ones. I can tell that's the ones I stay away from. What I would prefer to do is take the larger ones from the inside rather than the babies from the outside. They're still growing. You don't need to take from them. So what we're trying to do today is we're going to make an oil. And what we do is we've got a jar here. So we're letting Kawakawa know what we're actually planning on doing, and we're asking permission. And when I say permission, I'm going to say, can I please harvest from you? Which you can. You're just going to acknowledge her and you're going to look at her and you're going to feel. And that's exactly what I've already done with her, and she's already given me permission for that. And there's been many tohu, as I can know that you've already noticed so far. So what we're doing is I can tell that that's the jar I want, and I want to harvest enough to kind of fill it halfway. And then I'm going to fill it up with oil. So that's how much. Well, I don't want to take more than that. Yeah? So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look for ones that I can see some of the holes, because I know that medicinally those have already been, the nanara have already been there, and that those medicinal properties are in there at the same time.
And so never take one.
So every time I take one, I'm saying, can I please have this one? If my hand pulls away from it and goes somewhere, it's telling me not that one. So I'm just going to go where I feel that she's letting me harvest from. Because I don't actually need that many, I'm just taking a few. That we're doing, because we don't need to take all these edges, these bits through here. What we're going to do is we're going to walk over and we're going to wash her in the wai, because that's the best way to wash in. And we're just going to give her a bit of a wash, and we don't actually need to put these parts in, so we actually just pull those off. And we can just leave them right here. Joe, would you like to wash some of these? Tash, would you like to wash some of these in the awa?
Yes.